why would he do this? He had so many avenues that he could have gone down. He could have created his own supplement company, sold pre-workout, creatine, the list goes on, a clothing line with Sam on it, but instead, peptides. Coach Greg, and in today's video, unfortunately, Sam partners with a ghost peptide company. And so this company, without sufficient evidence, claims that it contains amazing peptides, that it's all legit, that they have the receipts, the proof. They're claiming that they have the best technology, the best ingredients, the best supplies, and that you can trust them because, well, you trust Sam. The only problem is Sam doesn't know what he's doing. This was not on my 2026 bingo card. It did not expect it to go like this. And the comments are up in arms under Sam's wall on Instagram as well as YouTube. People cannot believe that this is happening. Sam has the right to make money, but you have the right to know what you're spending your money on. Unfortunately, just because Sam says it was third-party testing, that you can trust him, that it was sourced correctly, doesn't mean that it's actually true. And so Sam's company, of which he announced he's now a part owner, we don't know exactly what percentage he has, they used Vanguard laboratory testing. On the test results themselves, remember, this is an actual product that was tested. Let me read you this. Cannot confirm the authenticity of the sample or its representativeness of the associated lot batch. If you don't have proof that what you're testing is what it's supposed to be, then what is that test actually worth?
It's hard to recommend anybody look into the space when right now peptides in general aren't, or peptide companies in general, are this unregulated gray area.
Which is exactly what Sam has agreed to be a part owner of. An unregulated gray area of peptides and his brand NEB.
Because everything's being sold for research purposes only. So they're not being held to the same quality standards as a company that's selling things that are FDA approved and regulated.
And so with Sam's company, they're selling research chemicals not for human consumption. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be selling it for, but remember, it's a gray area, wink, wink, nod, nod, don't admit what you're doing, don't tell anyone. And so if you want to do that, you do that. I'm certain that if you're using performance-enhancing drugs, namely steroids, you don't give a shit. But some people out there, they don't want to break laws, they want to be safe, and so you do what you need to do.
I mean, I saw one today. Some guy had bought a bunch of just unlabeled vials of whatever, and he's unsticking holographic peptide label, putting it on the bottles.
Which is essentially very similar to what Sam's company is doing. I mean, it's not literally sticking on a hologram, but it's very similar. They're not purchasing pharmaceutical drugs. Let's pretend that they are. Would they say not for human consumption, research chemicals only, if it was actually top grade products? That would be equivalent to if you were selling pharmaceutical testosterone prescribed by doctors or growth hormone made for AIDS patients, and then you said, oh, it was made in a lab, at my house, in my backyard. It's underground shit. Why would they say this is not for human use, that it's for research purposes only, if it was actually for humans? They would not do that. Makes no sense. Before recording this video and the last one, wanted to give the company that Sam is a part of, NEB, a chance to say, to explain themselves. We wrote them. In regard to the cagrilintide product, a new wave weight loss product in the future here, can you provide the mass spectrometry data for this lot to confirm the C20 lipid attachment and molecular weight? I see HPLC data on the website, but this is not enough to speak to the molecular weight of the product. And so upon reading that, if they actually cared, if they wanted to prove that it was what it was, they would be responding. They would say, sure, no problem, here it is. Since that video, they still haven't responded. What choice do we have but to assume, based on the evidence, based on the fact they haven't proven anything, that they are not testing their products effectively? If it was regulated by the FDA, for example, if RFK were to say these 14 peptide blah, blah, blah are going to be legal and used, do you really think they're just legalizing these products so that any peptide supplement company can come along and say and sell whatever they want without proof? No, you need actual testing. It's FDA regulated. This is not what the peptide companies are doing. And so they're spinning this story of RFK that, oh, they're legalizing peptides. Everyone can use it. There's no more regulations. This is not the case whatsoever. You need the pharmacies, compounding pharmacies, and the stringent regulations to ensure that no one's injecting anything unsafe. And so when contemplating or deciding whether or not you're going to inject said product into your body, always, as in every single time, before you do that, assume that it isn't what it is until proven otherwise. You may be thinking, but Coach Greg, don't you work for AlgorX? Aren't you a part owner? And so you're doing the exact same thing. It's not even close. See, from NEB, most likely these peptides, they come from China and they are not regulated. The FDA does not control this. They do not decide whether it's acceptable, not acceptable. And so technically, they could put anything into any vial that they want. It's simply not regulated and such. And if it says not for human consumption, research purposes only, it isn't for humans. You, last I checked, are a human. If you purchase from said company, from Sam Sulek, there is no liability. It says not for human consumption. If you get sick, if you have problems, there's nothing that you can do. With AlgorX, it is for human consumption. It's from compounding pharmacies with FDA standards and regulations, and they cannot just sell whatever they want. If you don't believe me, go and try to buy Retatrutide from AlgorX. Did you know that Reta is not yet approved for human consumption? AlgorX knows this, and they do not sell it because it's not allowed. If and or when Reta becomes available, AlgorX would purchase it from a compounding pharmacy, and it would be the exact same ingredient that you would get from your doctor and have no discrepancy whatsoever. It is FDA regulated and it is tested. And do you know what that means? It costs AlgorX far more. If you buy the good shit, the ones that they prescribe and use with humans, doctors, of course it's going to cost more in comparison to if you go to China and you purchase underground products and they white label it, they write whatever they want and say, trust me, bro. Well, maybe it's okay, but maybe not.
With NEB specifically, the United States manufactured, tested to the maximum. Like, you can check out the website to actually see how stringently all this stuff is being produced.
You're going to see the opposite. He's saying, go to the website, and went to the website. Did not see what I was hoping to see.
I can actually feel comfortable putting my name behind them as a product in that this stuff is as advertised.
But yet it isn't. What am I supposed to say to that? It isn't, though. And so on the website, it says it uses both HPLC and mass spec, but yet it doesn't. They only used HPLC. And so why lie? And so, unfortunately, remember, I don't wish this. I don't want it to be like this. Unfortunately, without mass spec, you cannot confirm the identity of the peptides without it. You just can't. And so if they're willing to lie about this using the mass spec, what else would they be willing to lie about? Now, I'm not blaming Sam. He's 24 years of age. He has a bit of experience using BPC and TB500. And a man approaches him and perhaps writes him a DM. I don't know how this all works, and says, do you want to be a part owner of a company that's going to be worth millions or even tens of millions of dollars? Sounds good, but I need to know that it's real. Okay, here's the evidence. Look at this test. Do you really think that Sam knows how to read a test for peptides? How to use a mass spectrometer? I don't think so. And so he just says, oh, it's legit. It sounds good. I feel like it's going to work. And so he signs on. And so just because Sam is nice and he's an IFBB pro doesn't mean he can't fall victim to being scammed from people saying, Sam, look what we're offering you. It's time to sign the contract.
But if it was looking like peptides was always going to be this gray market space, I really wouldn't be interested, because it's like there's just no control. People are going to get it from wherever.
Exactly. There's no control. People are going to get it from wherever, which is exactly what Sam's company is doing. This is exactly it. He may as well just say, hey guys, I am Sam and I'm open, honest, and transparent. And this is what's going on. I decided to jump on the bandwagon of peptides because there's so many people out there buying this product and I want to jump in and get it while it's hot because I can make millions of dollars really quickly. Now, is it actually regulated? Well, not really. Kind of, sort of, maybe. I don't know. But like, you can still use it. And hey, guys, I'm Sam, an IFBB pro. Don't you think I'm injecting trend tests and all kinds of steroids and so on? And do you think I really worry about peptides? If I'm already using trend, I don't give a shit about peptides. And so for me, it's safe. For you, if you're also doing what I'm doing, you probably shouldn't care. That would be honest. Let's just assume, which isn't true, that every single product is 100% legit. What about the ethics of this? Sam Sulek, who has a younger audience, mostly teenagers, perhaps men in their early 20s, but a lot of teenagers. And so in seeing that Sam is saying, hey, this is okay, rubber stamp of approval. Do you know how many teenagers, thousands, most likely tens of thousands of teenagers are going to go to the website and buy products that they shouldn't be buying, that they are too young, that they do not understand? They're not regulated by doctors prescribing this. Imagine if Al Gore X said, hey, everyone, we sell testosterone and enclomiphene, and a 17-year-old shows up and presses right click and buys it, puts it in their cart, testosterone, at 17. What would you think of that company? Would you not think that they're a piece of shit company and they shouldn't be allowed to do this? People can, from this company, buy whatever they want. Whether they have an ED and they weigh 65 pounds and they want to get Retta, for example, would you like that? Would you believe that this is okay? And so the ethical dilemma of Sam is that why would he do this? He had so many avenues that he could have gone down. He could have created his own supplement company, sold pre-workout, creatine, the list goes on, a clothing line with Sam on it, but instead, peptides. Who are fooling you with these businesses and why let them use your name for shit? Do y'all think it's just sunshine and rainbows because Sam's face on it, because he's such a good guy, he's so nice, he has a deep voice, that the supplement company, the peptides that are selling, they all must be legit? It doesn't work like that. The downfall of our favorite fitness influencer before GTA 6 is diabolical. Damn, uncommon Sam L. Greg gonna have an aneurysm after seeing this. And so an example of a dangerous product being sold on Sam's website, we'll call it now, BAM 15. It's neither proven safe nor clearly legal for use. Why are we selling this? It's comparable or similar in its actions to DNP. Y'all know what that is? It has unalived several individuals looking for the magic weight loss fix to lose weight. Very, very dangerous. If you overdose on this, you basically overheat and die. Like, look up DNP. I don't want to make a whole video on this, but it's basically copying that. I've never used it myself. Think of it. It's so dangerous that I wouldn't use it, and I've never coached anyone to use it because I didn't want to be responsible for somebody ending their life.
NEB is just, you can get on this website, purchase this, this, and this, presumably with consulting your own doctor and doing your own research and actually having like a proper understanding.
Yeah, don't be doing your own research. You're going to be biased to reading and understanding exactly what you want. Are you a researcher? Oh, let's just do your own researcher. Kid's 16 years old. How did it turn out for clavicular? Do your own research. At 14, he decided, based on my research, I should get on testosterone, that he should be doing Retta at 15 and 20 milligrams a day. We've seen this. His own research led to him wanting to bone smash and promoting this idiocy of looks maxing to the world.
As these regulations change, and then governments will actually, not governments, but government regulation will come in and make sure that all these peptide companies are using approved vendors.
Yeah, what they're going to do is come down and shut down all these vendors. He's like, oh, they're just going to be regulated. And it's not. No, it's not going to work like that. It's going to be like, you are closed down. What do you think's been happening already? And so very easily they could walk in and say, Sam, this isn't legit. This isn't above board. Where's the proof that you're selling this to researchers? Why are there all these teenagers purchasing these peptides for research purposes only? And you get shut down. That is a potential result. You can continue to support Sam by purchasing his peptides, but rather than that, you could support Sam by purchasing the clothing line that he's got. You could watch his videos. You could go and cheer for him at various competitions. Or you can purchase, I believe it's Raw. He's with Chris Bumstead. And so if you purchase Raw, indirectly, you're helping Sam. Perhaps he has a discount code. You can support him like that. If you want to use peptides, wait until you're older and get them from a compounding pharmacy, one that's prescribed by doctors to ensure your safety. Aside from that, video's done. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. If you want to be sponsored by HLT Supplements, or if you want to carry our supplements in your stores and or gyms, or you want to get coaching plans by myself and my team, there's a bunch of links. Click on those. Don't forget code GREG for 15% off. And if you're unemployed, use code UNEMPLOYED to get the Turk, the GO2 Max. The list goes on. And you can even use code CICO to get the bars for 50% off. I'm out.